Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. How are we doing? Asset Farmer, hello. How are we doing? Good to see you. Just checking out the price of a few things. Right. Maximus Decimus, how are we doing? How are we doing? Good to see you. So screen share is live on Kick and YouTube. They should both be up and running. Hopefully. Matty, how are we doing? Vexed, welcome buddy, good to see you. How are we doing, buddy? One way ticket, how are we doing? Looks like I might have a little bit of a lag on in terms of the stats on TikTok, but we'll ignore that. It's fine. You're all turning up. That's the main thing. Okay, cool. So yeah, day's slowly turning red. We started off nice and green this morning. It is slowly turning red. We're seeing a few things pull back. Layer 01 Labs doing very, very well today. TEP did quite well. Stacks is back up again today. Bonk had a good day. But generally, the things that were doing okay have pulled back. The week's been pretty good to most. But the month still presenting quite a lot of opportunity. Thank you for sharing the live, Sean. Appreciate that, buddy. Evening Tango, how are we doing? Good to see you, Crypto here. How are we doing? Thank you all for turning up. Appreciate you all being here, buddy. Thank you very much. So yeah, on the month, we've still got the big ones, the big gainers, Aero, Pendle, Leo, 01 Labs, Swarm Markets still nicely up, Ton still nicely up, but there's still a lot of red out there, which is an interesting thing to see because, you know, even things that didn't move a lot before the dip, they're still down quite heavy. So we've got Aptos is still down 37%. Dynex, I topped up a little bit on Dynex. Naka's down nearly 50% on the month. Although it had a fantastic run, that's quite a surprise that it's still down 50% for the month. Do we know what happened to Sync? Yeah, and people just lost confidence. I mean, they had the ability to alter the tax, which we were aware of, and people don't want to invest in it anymore because they switched it on. I was obviously in Syncus very, very early. I think my first video was 8th of January, and it did do a 29x from there. And I was telling people to take profit on the way up. Those Olympus DAO style plays are high risk, high reward, and you've got to get your profit out whilst it's there because they can die at any moment. Now, technically speaking, Syncus is not dead. However, it's not doing very well at the moment. It's certainly down very heavily. How is Base Swap doing? Base Swap is the one project in the base chain network that I've invested in a decent amount that is now down. Everything else is up except that. So Base Swap not doing so well. I mean, I've got a lot of tokens coming out of staking soon. Will I hold on to them? Will I sell them? I mean, if it's struggling when base is this strong, it's probably a good indicator that base swap isn't going to do particularly well. But Aero, Extra, BMX, all doing fantastically well, and that's where most of my dollar cost averaging's gone. I haven't bought any more base swaps since my first slot. A safe 5 to 6x for a big cap. There is no such thing as a safe 5 to 6x. It's really, really not. What we've got to think about now is that the big projects have already done 3 or 4x. So to get another 5 or 6x on top of that is going to be difficult, which means you're going to increase the risk. You need to look further down the market caps. It's pretty difficult to say. Donald Bump, yeah, I've been keeping a very close eye on Donald Bump. I had some again until yesterday. I took more profit on Donald Bump yesterday. basically I'm trading a range between about 64k and 75k, and it's a very tradable meme token, so it's all good. I do like Donald Bump. It's maybe a little bit of money. Is ICP any good? It depends what you mean. I mean, I think the technology of ICP is amazing. Is the token any good? Only if adoption of the technology comes. If it isn't adopted, we won't see it. Thank you for smashing the likes already, people. Good to see 1.3 thousand likes already up on the chart, raising rapidly. Please do continue to smash those likes. I much appreciate it. SVPN, not overly familiar. 85k right now. That is great going. I mean, I think the highest I saw it get to was 100k. So to be back on the way up to there is very, very good. What I like about it is it's not the community are good. Donald Bump's token has got to 100k. It's retraced and it's slowly going back up. And I like that in a meme token. They are accruing some decent liquidity as well. Sinkers is finished since the 50%. Sold on a loss, but have to move on. Yeah, Sinkers. Once any project loses investor confidence because they didn't communicate they were switching that tax on, it's very difficult to get investor confidence back, regardless of what you do. It has seen some upward momentum at times, but I mean it's taken a real bad kick in this week, so I don't think it'll probably bounce back too strongly again. But we could be wrong. Some fresh faces into the space. Some noobs to the market may well buy into it. There are other options. I've been looking at ones where I think there's a decent DeFi finance play to be had, where there is some utility and use case. Trying to find that gem. The very small low cap gems now are getting very difficult to find because they've already moved on a lot. And it's like this morning. This morning I found I reviewed all of my kind of calls that I've made in the private Discord, all the projects of interest, as I call it. I did find that I had called another 19x. So Mantra, I was mentioning to the Discord back in December when it's 5 cents. It's currently 69 cents. It has seen $1. So that one almost 20x as well. So I've added that one to the list. So we've now had 3 projects do at least a 20x. We've had 110x, several 10x's, and some 5, 8, 9, and 10x's as well. So yeah, it's been really good actually. So my spreadsheet on my calls basically says that if you'd invested $100 into each and every one, you'd have invested $6,000. From that $6,000, you would have had back, if you'd have just carried on holding until now, you'd have had 16.8, which is decent. Yeah, that's 2.5x. Not bad at all. Not to be sniffed at. But if you had sold anywhere near the top, you could have turned that $6,000 into $34,000. Bearing in mind that I've called nearly 50 projects, so they're not all brilliant. All of them did go on to make a new all-time high, so that was good. Every single one has seen a higher price at some point than when I mentioned it, but some of them are now significantly lower. Even despite the market price, you're not going to get them all right. I mean, I've got some now that are worth 60% of what they were. I've got one that's worth 25% of what it was. But it's making your wins outweigh your losses. You're not going to win everything in this game. So the current prices, some of them are down, but the all-time highs, the possibilities were there that you could have had up to $34,000 from your $6,000. So I'm happy with that as an average. That's not bad. But we've had some absolute bangers in there. I'm going to go through and review them to see what the common links are between the winners and the losers. I think some of the losers basically were just too small. They were too high risk. Thoughts on Condo? I'm not familiar with them, I'm afraid. Stacks, yeah, absolutely love Stacks. I didn't buy the dip. I should have. I knew it would bounce back strongly, and it has. So I'm looking at Alex now. I've bought some more Audi Swap, and I'm probably looking at getting some more Orange as well. I still think that looks like it could be cheap. What do I think of Game GPT? Dual Token's my 110x. I cannot do anything but love that project. So yeah, so Game GPT, I personally had an 11x when it was Rainmaker. I put all of those gains into its new project, Game GPT, and I've had a 10x out of that. So I have genuinely had a 110x out of that. So I love that. Bullish on Sui Network, absolutely yes. Sui Network is looking very, very, very good. I sold my Sui just before the dip, which I'm quite happy about. It didn't do brilliantly during the dip, but nothing really did. There were very few projects that did actually go up during the dip. Currently at 137. I mean, for me, $1.17 billion market cap, fully diluted. It's 14. But the possibilities of what Sui can do are very, very interesting. It's good for DeFi. It's good for NFTs. It could be good for gaming. It could be great for DeFi. So yeah, it's very, very interesting that this. I think is it Move that their new programming language. Sui and Aptos both use a version of Move, which is like an evolving Rust language. But yeah, it's in very well. It's a very well positioned one. It's backed by a lot of big VCs, of course. Sui Network as well didn't have an airdrop. Unlike Aptos, which is really its closest rival in that regard, Aptos did an airdrop worth hundreds of millions. Sui Network funded nearly as much, but it didn't do an airdrop. So that money you would think would go into creating something pretty special, or maybe even doing an airdrop later on. Who knows? But yeah, bullish on Sui Network. It is a very good network. I'm also doing a lot of other layer ones. So I've updated. I bought the dip a little bit on Atom, on Celestia, on Injective, on Dimensions as well. I bought a few other bits and pieces as well. That's all been confirmed in the private Discord. But yeah, I did go shopping, but I didn't go crazy on the dip. So just buying things that I like. Sui Network I didn't buy back into because I was buying a few other things quite large. So I left that one out for now. But Sui Network will probably work its way back into it. You just have to be very careful of the token vesting schedules on these because things like Sui, Aptos, Arbitrum, they've all got very heavy vesting schedules. I quite like ones that have got a decent amount invested already. That's been part of the problem with Game GPT. The market cap's been going up, but the price hasn't been going up because there's so many tokens hitting the market. Jesus, 10,000 likes already, people. That is absolutely amazing. Thank you for that. Keep smashing those likes if you can. But 10,000 likes in less than 15 minutes, that is absolutely phenomenal. Thank you very much indeed. XRP will be number one. Will it though? I don't know. Ripple might be number one in terms of the payments and remittance systems. Will XRP ever really rip and get off the ground again? We'll have to wait and see. Top Crypto Coma, thank you for smashing those likes, buddy. I see you smashing all of those likes. I appreciate it. Currently, XRP at the moment is not really a worthwhile investment. It's not offering any return of investment at all, based upon the last 2 years that I've been holding it. So I stopped buying XRP nearly a year and a half ago, and I sold it all probably the best part of 6 months or more ago. And it's been the best decision I've ever made. That capital has 3, 4, 5x at least. COQ Inu was yeah. I mean, yeah, it does look cheap. Looking at Crypto Bubbles, COQ Inu on the month is still down 38.8%. Now it has bounced back a bit this week. It's up 12%, but that shows you if it's up 12% on the week, but on the month it's still down 38%. COQ Inu could come back quite strong. I was tempted by that one actually. I do hold a little bit of Brett on base chain, but I don't play a lot of meme tokens. I've got Katamoto at the moment, which launched this week as well. That's steadily going up very slowly, but there's been no meteoric rise. But I'm quite happy with that. Slow growth is good growth. But yeah, COQ Inu very, very good. I also hold another very well named meme token on the Blast network. 2 parts to it. Second word is Blast. First word is finger. I really like that. It just makes me smile when I say it because I'm so immature. But yeah, I think that could be when Blast Network takes off, that could be a really good meme token for that network. I've got high hopes for that. But I bought a bag and we'll see what happens. If the Blast Network takes off, that token could do really well. But yeah, I think Brett in base chain's a good bet. But COQ Inu, of course, I think if I remember rightly, that's the AVAX backed one. I was almost tempted to buy some for the first time because of that 38% down on the month. We know that it's got some good backing, some strong backing, so it could do very, very well indeed. Some people have really picked that one as their top play. Did I pick up any Chainlink in a dip? Like it for the long term? I do like Chainlink. I keep saying I'm going to buy it when it dips, but again, I didn't buy Link. Link for me is quite a high market cap. It would have to come down considerably for me to buy it. In terms of ROI, I want a much better ROI for my investment. But Chainlink is relatively safe. It's as safe as Bitcoin or Ethereum, in my opinion. It's just into everything. It's built everything. It's on everything. It's adding more utility all the time. They are pretty solid. Looking across the year, I wouldn't expect it to actually dip too much further now than $13 unless we have another event. But where I'd like to pick it up is probably around $10. If I was going to pick it up, I'd want it about $10. But I really don't see it coming down less than 13 unless something bad happens in the market. It's a very, very strong project above 13. Evening Chips on Kick. How are we doing, buddy? Good to see you over there. Thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate you being there, buddy. Thank you very much. You might not be there anymore, actually. You've been there 11 minutes and never saw you. So apologies for that. I might need to move that chat box over to this side, but then everyone else will see it. Maybe I should swap it round. Maybe that's a good idea. Maybe I should swap these round. I will do that next time. Was I in Z Casino? No. Z Casino is actually one of the few that I stayed away from. I didn't invest into that one at all. So I was quite fortunate. I can't even find the chart. I know that there's been a rather bad hit to Z Casino, but I still can't actually find out much on it. Will Sinkers survive? I mean, it's not dead. It's not a rug pull. But the problem is with Sinkers is that it's lost investor confidence, and without investor confidence, who's going to buy it? It's very, very difficult. I really liked what Sinkers were trying to do. But the minute they turned that 50% tax on and didn't communicate it well with the community, it was doomed. Has it bottomed out now? It could have bottomed out, but we thought it had bottomed out before, and it just came down again. The problem is there are still some big holders. The last month, there's been some spikes, but it's generally downward action. I would advise, I don't give a financial advice, but if I was holding Sinkers still, I would wait for the next spike and get out. It is generally coming downwards. It is going to be volatile. There will be peaks and troughs. I'm sure that they've got a budget left for marketing, but yeah, I mean, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. I mean, it's down to an $11 million market cap now, so it was looking so good. Yeah, the market cap was 62 million at one point. It was doing incredibly well. And of course, I did get a 29x on Sinkers, so I've been in it since January, so again, take your profits on the way up. The kind of projects of interest sheet that I do for the Discord. So obviously, anything that I mention that is of interest in the Discord, I keep a note of. I take a note of the price when I mention it, and I see what happens with it moving forward. I said it before. If you take your profits on the way up towards the top, you would have had up to a 6.5x. From what I mentioned in the Discord. I've mentioned a lot of projects. Not all of them make money. But if you'd have sold them on the way up, because they all went up at some point, you would have had up to 6.5x your money. If you'd have just held on to it now, you got 2.5x. So it's not bad, but it could. People just need to learn to sell when they're in profit. It's a very hard thing to do. I struggled with it last cycle, so it's something that we do struggle with. What are my thoughts on Catgirl? Catgirl's kind of like a bit of a remnants from the previous bull run. It did have a little bit of a run at the beginning of this bull run when Gabe was around. I mean, Gabe unfortunately is not in the space at the moment. He was a big advocate for Catgirl and a few other ones as well. I think Kitty AI was another one. It's not doing particularly well ever since. I think Catgirl and Kitty AI and all meme coins need good marketing and they need a strong community. And the good thing about when Gabe is on board with the project, he is both the community and the marketing. So to have him on board is a big, big plus. I hope he's all right. He's missing from the space a little bit at the moment, but Catgirl, yeah, it's another meme token. It could bounce back. It's going to be incredibly volatile, but I've not seen it marketed, so I don't know. Are we going to go up or down in the coming weeks? Well, that is the big question, and honestly, no one knows. My personal belief is that the typical post bull run halving, sorry, the post Bitcoin halving dip, if it does happen, could be short lived and softened because of the ETFs. So Bitcoin at the moment is on a third red weekly candle. It's still well above the 20-day EMA. I could see Bitcoin coming down to 57.5K on the weekly chart and bouncing off the 20-day EMA. The stochastic RSI is 3/4 of the way down. It's getting there. I do think there's more downside to come, but what will we have before that? Let's have a look at the daily. The daily stochastic RSI is on the rise. If we get back above the 20-day EMA on the daily, we could turn bullish again. It's really difficult to call. The one thing that I am looking at the moment, though, is that we have had, or rather, the 50-day EMA is getting very close to the 20-day EMA. And the last time that happened was back in January. And we went sideways for a good week and a half before the 20-day EMA took over and we went up. So I think best case scenario, maybe a week or two of going sideways. Worst case scenario, the weekly chart takes over and we have a little bit of downward action. Volatility is going to be the key thing, but I think sideways is more than likely at the moment, just until everyone finds their feet. Tomorrow is going to be an interesting day. The first day the markets open after the Bitcoin halving. What will the market makers do? What will they do? Because we haven't had a dip yet. It's actually pretty bullish. Did I see Gummy? That was crazy. 1350x. Did miss it. I didn't see Gummy, no. Thoughts on Velo? Velo. Let me have a look at Velo. Make sure I get the right one. Is that Velodrome or Velo? There's two Velos that I know of. If we're talking Velo, ticker Velo, I don't know that one terribly well. Velo Labs, unique Federated Credit Exchange Network. Federated Credit Exchange Network. What's one of those? Digital credit issuance and borderless asset transfers for businesses using smart contracts. Real world assets exchange network. Good use case. If it's that one, I like that one. Need to research it a lot more, but yeah, But that one seems decent. $133 million market cap, fully diluted 540. So the tokenomics aren't great at less than 25% circulating supply. Let's have a look and see what's generally happening price-wise. Price has been pretty volatile, but generally up to the right. So that's still good. Looks like you've done a 3x this month, which is fantastic. That's very strong indeed. And you've done even better across the year. So, yeah, definitely going very, very strongly. Token price behaving very nicely. Market cap rising in line with that. So, yeah, take the token investing schedule into account. Have a look and see what they're doing in terms of that real-world asset tokenizations and credit issuing. I need to see what partnerships they've got, but it could be very, very good. Certainly seems to be performing very, very well. Decent exchanges, at least worth a look. Got to be worth a look. Thoughts on Crob? What's Crob? Crob coin? What the fuck? It's on Crow. Okay. Okay, it's a meme coin on Crow. Okay, no idea. Didn't even know it existed. Rune, still not in Rune. I'm trying to research these new runes, these new Bitcoin etchings that they're called, and I honestly don't get it. I think this is something that I would need someone who's very tech savvy to explain to me in plain English, because the research I'm doing just kind of like it's technically well above my head. I don't understand how it works. I don't understand why etching is different from inscription, and why is inscription different from a smart contract. I don't get it. Did I lose on sync? Hell no. I was in sync from January. I saw a 29x for some of my money. So I took profit 3 times on the way up on sync. I'm still holding a little bit now, but I was playing with house money from my first TP. It was crazy. That thing went from 0.0027 cents to like 8.5 cents. It was crazy. I saw like nearly 30x gains on that. It was crazy. So yes, I that's why I was bullish on Sinkers. I could see it doing very, very well. But I always urge people to be cautious. These Olympus DAO type plays are high risk, high reward. You've got to get in, make your money, and get out. The people that are holding the bag now, they either FOMO'd in at the top or they didn't take profit, and both are not where you want to be. Flow. Let's have a look at Flow. Not overly familiar with Flow, so just bear with. So it's 92 cents, $1.3 billion fully diluted. That's impressive market cap, but I like the circulating supply. Lots of news on Flow as well, so they're definitely very, very busy. Proof of stake blockchain, foundation of Web3 and open metaverse. Consumer scale decentralized applications, NFTs, DeFi, DAO, PFP projects. Cadence. Looks good. Does look good. Monkey Man, how are we doing, buddy? Good to see you on YouTube. Appreciate you being over there, buddy. I hope you're very, very well. Is it going up or down? Is that just a general question on the crypto at the moment? And does the markets impact as well? Yeah, all the other markets will impact crypto, of course. No one knows if the market's really going to go up or down. But, looking at it at the moment, if the daily chart and the 20 and the 50-day don't cross, we'll see some sideways action and then hopefully consolidation and upwards for Bitcoin. If the weekly chart decides to take over, it's going to be a little bit of downward action. But I do think even the weekly would bounce off the 20-day EMA. So I don't see us going below 55. I think 55 would be the absolute floor if it went horribly wrong. So this is Flow. Flow Web3, mainstream permissionless layer 1 blockchain. It's a really good website. Loads of things joining the community on Flow and building. Yeah, Flow looks like it could be really, really good, to be fair. It's not one I've ever looked at in terms of a layer 1, so that's brilliant. So you can get a wallet for it, you can bridge it, you can run a node, you can stake on it. You've got a really good learning section, you've got a community section. Really nice website. Sounds like it's a good Web3 development blockchain. So Flow, another one that is probably well worth another look. Yes, for me it's a large market cap, but the tokenomics on it, it's fully diluted. If a project does well when it's fully diluted, it rips. Bearing in mind in the last bull run, decent layer ones and the ones that were not so good were doing 20, 30, $40 billion market caps. This is still only 1.3 billion. So there is a possible upside to it. Dip last week, everyone is expecting a drop, and will probably do opposite. Well, this is it. The market tends to do the opposite of what we think it is. The dip last week was almost certainly due to Israel and Iran, but was that almost like a blanket cover and an excuse for the halving dip to happen as well? Now, we do know that miners sold a lot more tokens in February, so they're not actually sat on as many tokens as they normally are anyway. So that if you saw my video a day or two ago, you'll see that story covered. So miners basically sold a lot of their tokens in February and took revenue then, which means that there are less tokens on the market from them now to dump post-halving, which is usually when the price goes up. So I'm not expecting a massive dip, But also, we might have already seen some of the dip mixed in with the Iran Israel news. And we may also see any dip lessened or cushioned by the ETFs and their demand for Bitcoin. So, yeah, pretty bullish at the moment that the dip won't be as bad as it typically has been. But we may well still see a dip. When should altcoins boom? Is it May? Generally May. The 4-year cycle that everyone likes to repeat is basically walk away in May. So every May you walk away because the markets are generally pretty poor. But I think the Bitcoin ETF has changed the cycle, so I'm not 100% sure walk away in May is going to apply. I've got a good position in my portfolio at the moment. I've got some strong projects that I'm holding that I'm happy to hold through any serious dip. I've got plenty of stable coins on the side to buy said dips. I'm not going to go all in on the first big dip, and like with this one, I didn't get all my money out and go crazy. I bought little bits of things that I really like that haven't really overly mooned yet. So just topping up on those. But generally, the old saying is walk away in May. But we'll see. As I said, the ETS have just changed everything. We can't predict it. History's changed. Axelar, very, very decent project. Not one I've ever held myself, so I can't really say a lot about it. I don't really know a lot about it. Will XRP shoot up if it wins the court case? Well, the thing to remember is what we're looking at. We're looking at the fact that actually the judge has already made rulings. The judge has already decided that the XRP tokens sold via exchanges are not securities. The XRP tokens sold commercially, as to investments and things, they are securities. So the rulings have been made. I think what's being mainly hammered out now is the details of settlements, so fines and things like that. I would say that that's what's taking so long, because rulings have been and are being made. It's just kind of like we aren't seeing the end to it. XRP, when it finally is fully released from legal action and Ripple can carry on their business, will probably do very, very well. It will come out of the blocks fast and hard, and it will do very, very well. But I believe investors have been holding XRP for that long that they will all be waiting to take profits. And I think their take profit targets over the years have probably come down. It'd be interesting to see how many really do wait for $589 and how many take $3.50. We'll see. But yeah, I'm expecting an upside for XRP if it once the court case is over. I don't think there's a real winner to it as such, because the rulings have been made, and it's just, as far as I'm concerned, it's just them hammering out the final details of settlements and things and trying to close it as an action, if you like. But of course, you get people arguing decisions that have already been made, and that just drags it out even longer, which is why I don't hold XRP. VRL has been poop. It has. VRL obviously, originally announced it had a deal with 3 to piggyback on their network, be one of their providers for their own network. VRL had a fantastic looking business plan. We had them in for an AMA and it went really badly. And literally the day after, they had a Twitter space with a well-known guy on Twitter who absolutely tore them to shreds, and they came out very, very badly from that as well. So we were quite fortunate in the Discord that we got in there first. We were not impressed, or we were really excited about the project beforehand, but we got them in to speak to them. They couldn't answer questions. They didn't give good answers. So we were all fortunate. We were like pretty much all on that night. We were all just in a call afterwards just saying, what just happened? How can something look so good and be so bad? So we all got out literally half an hour after we all decided we were out. We sold the VRL, we were gone, we were out. And then, of course, the day after, then it happens again on a Twitter space, and they get ripped. Things come out in the woodwork about people making improper comments and things on Twitter on their part. So yeah, it's It really, really did look good for VRL, but it just looks like they're full of shit, and I don't think that's going anywhere. But yeah, VRL has not performed well, but there are very identifiable reasons for that. I mean, it's just literally ever since that that AMA that I had, they have literally done nothing but go down, and they've gone down hard. So yeah, I don't see them taking off the ground. And apparently, they're working on a deal with another carrier, but I don't know. They just don't seem to have the experience or the knowledge there. If you speak to them one to one and ask them proper questions, they can't answer. They're incapable. And to be fair as well, during the AMA, there was two key members of the team there, including the CEO, and neither of them bothered to answer the questions that we were actually asking. So it's really unconvincing, and that just doubled down the next day. So yeah, VRL, very disappointing indeed. What are my thoughts on Pepe? Pepe's a meme token. It is one of the bigger ones. I do think Pepe is in the luxurious position where it's not as big as Doge or Shiba, but it could be. But we've got a lot of meme coin contenders right now. And how much money is there for meme coins? Evidently quite a lot. But, I don't think the money cycle is going to keep going Bitcoin meme, Bitcoin meme. Eventually, the altcoins are going to have a run, and then we'll see which meme coins can really do well once everything else is ripping. So we'll see. Looks like we have another Aaron Ministry of Crypto in the live. If you get inboxed by Aaron __ Ministry of Crypto 0, it's not me. I won't inbox you. Please, 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 just ignore that guy. Yes, please. Yes, Lisa, absolutely, please do get him. You get him. You get him. Report him, block him, ban him, kick him in the nuts really hard. Thank you. Tango, thank you for smashing the likes still, buddy. I appreciate that. We're up to 13.5k likes. 38 minutes gone. That's some splendid work. Someone's going to have very sore fingers in the morning. Thank you very much indeed, people. Appreciate the likes and the shares. So just looking back in on the daily, yeah, it's very 50-50 now. There's a lot of big green around, but there's a lot of little red around as well. So not really too much more movement. GFAL's up a little bit at last, 60 million. There are a couple of gaming projects that I've put into in the last couple of weeks. So Creo being one of them. Creo did very well. I think it's bounced back 10% this last week or so. Just going to try and find it now. There he is. Yeah, 10% up on the week. I think I literally bought it down here, so that's good. But Creo, nice low market cap, 29 million. Very decent project. Had some investment as well. I've got a little bit of high hope for Creo that it could come out absolutely storming it. So I like Creo quite a lot. Wow, look at that. The moderators found 4 Aarons. Wow. Good work, Lisa. Thank you very much indeed. Dupe or injective? I'm going to go injective right now. I think injective for me has got a lot of possibilities. Jupiter is a very good exchange, but it's limited to being an exchange. They're very different projects, of course. So Jupiter's an exchange on Solana, but injective is basically is building new projects. So injective for me all day long. I did buy some more injective in the dip as well. Still bullish on Orange. Orange, yes, absolutely am. Orange looks like it could be doing some brilliant stuff. I think they are due or have already bought to bring out a wallet, and we'll be able to stake it soon as well, so I need to sort that out. I think the staking on the reward side is doable on Xverse, but I think I'm waiting for them to bring out a wallet if I'm right. I can't remember. But I do still like Orange. I have bought... I was going to buy some more. I didn't buy any this time around. I didn't pull the trigger, but on the month it's down considerably. So it's worthy of a look as to whether or not I should DCA into some more. Market cap's only 26.5 million. Fully diluted, it's 43. It seems very, very small for a project that have some very big plans. Sync dumped. Sync's been dumping for weeks now. Ever since it activated that 50% tax, it's been dumping like crazy. Just see me on another live as well. Yeah, this is it. All these imitators go everywhere. I've got about 50 Calvin Hills that follow me, at least. Opinion on Shiba Inu, another very large meme coin, could do very well, might do nothing. It's impossible to tell. Aero or Injective, again, very different. Aero is my winner on base. So Aero fulfilling an AMM exchange purpose on base. It's got half the TVL on it. I'm very, very bullish on Aero. It's done very well price action wise as well. I didn't get in early, but I've still made some very good money on Aero. I also like Extra and BMX, but Injective as well, still good. I mean, which one would I choose over the other? I would probably choose, at the moment, I think I'm probably more bullish on Aero than Injective. Purely because I think Aero is only on base at the moment. And if it went multi-chain like Uniswap, I think it could go into billions of dollars in market cap. Because Uniswap, of course, have got issues. But if Aero goes cross-chain as an exchange and as an AMM, it could do incredibly well. Incredibly well. Very bullish on Aero. IOs, not overly familiar with IOs. I don't hold it. I never really have. But it does seem to have potential. It's got a large following. It could do quite well, but I don't really know a lot about it. Has Bitcoin halved yet? Yeah, the Bitcoin halving has happened. So we are now on a new 4-year countdown for the Bitcoin halving. I think this is a little bit of... We've had a little bit of euphoria this weekend. Bitcoin halving, everyone's talking about Bitcoin. We've had a little bit of action. When the markets open tomorrow, that's going to be, I think, a very, very interesting time to see how the markets react in terms of the Bitcoin halving. What will the big boys do? It'll be very interesting. Velo, is that Velo Exchange? Velo Exchange I do like, but in terms of the base network, it's a second choice for me. Velo is very good on the Optimism network. It's also on base chain, because obviously Velo can go on base and Optimism, because of course base is built using OP stacks, so those can migrate across to base very, very easily. Thank you for continuing to smash the likes, people. I really, really appreciate it. I can see you're still working incredibly hard. We're up to 18,000 likes already, 45 minutes in, so you're doing incredibly well. Oatsy I've heard a lot about. I don't think I've ever really looked at it. Let me have a quick look now. It was on my list at one point. I have held this actually. The avatar looks very familiar. Let me have a look at it, see what it is. 10 million, fully diluted. 100 million supply. I like the tokenomics and I like the market cap. Let's just see what it's doing. So it's been higher this year. This last year. In May 23, it was 27 cents. It's half that now. It's an Ethereum project. It's only available on Uniswap, which limits it really. OTC trading platform, which allows users to swap ERC tokens with one another. So, okay. OTC trading platform for token swaps. First to market features like crowdfunding on ERC20 Bank. Okay. So it looks like it could be quite interesting. I thought I'd held it before, but maybe not. My VPN doing its job. Excellent stuff. Protecting me. Here we go. You going to let me in this time? No. Okay, so I can't actually get onto the website at the moment because my VPN won't let me. But yeah, it's performed very well in the past. 10 million market cap doesn't seem like a lot. 100 million total supply is very, very decent tokenomics, but it's only available on Uniswap. It's not on any centralized exchanges. I'm assuming that's because it is a decentralized purpose. It's for token swaps, OTC trading. Yeah, could be interesting. But I wanted to have a look at it, and I want to know why it's in my portfolio, something I've looked at before. Interesting. Thoughts on DGI game? I really like DGI game. I mean, I did a video on it before it introduced AI, and I really liked the use case then. All they've done is add more utility. That's got to be a good thing. I mean, I don't always like it when businesses change their plan, when these projects change their plan, their roadmap, but they've done it for a good reason. They're introducing things that will really add value to the project. So I think as long as they complete it correctly and everything pays off, they could have a great tool. I mean, it's a tool that I really like on Game GPT as well. Game GPT, we're planning to do it from day one, which is why I've always been more bullish about Game GPT. They've been on about gaming AI and releasing gaming building products to us. I think that's due out by the end of Q2, so we should be seeing that quite soon from the Game GPT team. But DGI Gaming, adding that to their tools is brilliant. PL, welcome, buddy. How are we doing, buddy? Good to see you. Utility releases in 2 days, allowing people to OTC trade multi-chain, including Base, Blast, and Sol. Right, okay. Multi-chain, so they're going to go Base and Blast. Two of my favourites right now, so that's very, very good. I'm farming Blast like crazy, so that's really, really good. Ha token is the meme of the bull run for sure. I hope it is. I do know some of the team from Ha. They are working very hard on that project. They're trying very hard to manage everything in a sustainable way, and it's a great project, good team, a fun narrative. Ha could do very, very well. The team is certainly working very hard for it. My opinion on COQ in and out. I mean, it's down nearly 40% still on the month. It's looking like it might be a good entry point. I almost bought some yesterday when I was looking at my DCAs, but I didn't at the time. Star Atlas, not a huge fan actually. I'm not, Star Atlas isn't of particular interest to me. I've never held it. Let me have a look and see if I can identify the reason why. I can't even remember why. It's been so long since I looked at it. Let me have a look. So it's 0.5%, $79 million market cap, 181 fully diluted, so 43%. Let's have a look. Multiplayer online game. So it's a game, Unreal Engine 5. It looks like it's playable, but I don't like holding individual games. I like investing in... there's safety in numbers with gaming. So one game could not release. It could not make it to market. It could fail. It could be hated. But if you're in a gaming platform, you're safer. And I like safer. But Star Atlas, it was well received. People have raved about it in the past. I've certainly heard about it, but I just don't know enough about it to really have a valid comment. Thank you for liking and sharing the lives, people. I do appreciate that. Keep that going, please. My thoughts on the halving dip. Has it happened? We touched on this a little bit earlier, Pete. I think what might have happened is that obviously the halving's a buy the rumor, sell the news event. There's two things that could have happened. One of which I did a video on the other day. That is that miners sold a lot more Bitcoin in February. So there's less Bitcoin in their pockets to sell on market. So the miners can't dump as much as normal. We've also got the Iran-Israel news that came out. Could there have been more of a dump on that release kind of hidden? And also then we've now got the Bitcoin spot ETF. So any possible dip that does happen may well be cushioned or lessened by everything else that's happened before as well. So I think we bounce back quite quickly from any dip that happens. I don't think it's as big as it is historically, if the two reasons I gave before are correct. But we don't really know. It's just guesswork. Thoughts on King Velo? Never ever heard of it. Nvidia Ninu will be the next Shiba Inu. I doubt it. Not if it needs to mention Nvidia, and I suspect Nvidia might have a thing to say about that as well. I'm sure the Nvidia team might be in touch. That might be a use of a copyrighted trademark. So we'll have to wait and see. Velo's been mentioned a lot. It sounds like the Shillers must be out and about in Velo. There's two Velos. I'm going to talk about Velodrome Finance because it's the one I like. So if you're on about Velo, you're out of luck. Velodrome Finance, decent project. Pixels or Portal? Oh, that's a good one. two lesser known gaming plays, really. I would probably... Portal's very low market cap, isn't it? But I think I've looked at Portal as a possible buy before. 178 million, fully diluted at $1 billion. Not great fan of the tokenomics, but it is on brilliant exchanges. It's got some good partners. Cross-chain gaming. I quite like Portal for that reason. Pixels. Pixels is that Beam? Pixels? No, Pixels is Pixel, isn't it? Let's have a look at Pixel. 359 million, 2.3 billion. So yeah, still not the same tokenomics. Similar exchanges. Social Web3 game. Okay, so Pixels is a game. Portal brings games together. So again, it's a collective. So I would probably be saying Portal over Pixels. I don't know Pixels terribly well. I might get that one wrong, but I would say Portal over Pixels for me. Chain swap opinion. I really like chain swap's use case. If they deliver what they have on their roadmap, it will be a winner. I still hold a sizable bag of chain swap. I added a little bit more to it as well in this dip. Have I come across Sirecoin? Sirecoin I've heard a lot about, but I haven't actually looked at it myself. Used to follow me a lot and have bags and bags of XRP, but crypto is dead. Els, I mean, if you come back to the space recently, you won't be aware that about over 12 months ago, I was saying I'm not buying XRP anymore. It doesn't perform. I've become a proper return of investment investor. So I'm still relatively long term, but XRP for me is not making the most of my money as we go into this bull run. So I dumped it. I've sold all my XRP. It was a good way to get into crypto. I understood the use case of Ripple and all that kind of stuff and ISO. But when you get into it and you're here to make money, you need to be where the money is. And the money for us retail investors is not in XRP or even the ISO tokens. That's not going to make you 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10x. I mentioned it at the beginning of the live. I was going through my sheets for the private Discord. Every project that I've mentioned favorably in there, that's averaged out about a 3x. You could have had, if you'd put $100 into every single one, you could have had nearly 36.5 grand. So I've had 110x's, I've had 30x's, 10x's. I've had a few that haven't won at all, but at some point they've always gone up. XRP, you can't say the same thing. It hasn't always gone up. So, yeah, I don't hold XRP. I might buy back into it when I'm done in making money, but probably not. So, yeah, just because XRP isn't doing anything, it's not crypto that's dead. It's, XRP isn't moving. What do I think of Roost? Never heard of Roost. Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate that. Right then, folks, 5 minutes left. You've got a couple of minutes to get me to 25k, please. Just keep smashing the likes. 1.1k needed to get me to 25k likes in an hour. That would be excellent. Really appreciate it if you could do that for me. If you're new to me here as well, make sure you hit the follow button. Also, the link to the free Discord is in the bio. Yes, there's a private Discord as well, but you don't have to join that. The main community is free. The private bit is literally just to know what I'm trading, what I'm buying, what I'm holding, and what I'm researching, and you get to see all of that. Well, that's the only value you get from it. We have a fortnightly catch-up call as well, and if you want to go to a lifetime membership, you actually can have an hour of my time and a copy of my book if that's what you want. But links to all of that stuff is in the bio. Check it out. I've come to believe you can't actually make large sums of money in crypto. Ask anyone in my group. That's just not true. You can. Fitzo Crypto, he's obviously more of a trader, but he's done it just using spot holds with things like Veracity and Naka. He's made a lot of money with those spot holds. Me and the Discord, as I said, we've had 110x's on spot holds, 30x's, 10x's. You definitely can make money in crypto, but you need to be in the right place at the right time and take your profit. Because if you don't take profit, you're a bag holder. And I'm not saying that's you. I'm just saying there's a lot of lessons to be learned, and one of them for me was taking my profits, because I didn't do that in the last bull run. I'm doing it now. Paid for the steak and nice vino yesterday. It did. That was a very, very nice meal in a very expensive restaurant. And 3 years ago, paying for that would have been painful. It would have been. I'm not going to lie. I've been very honest. Very honest. I'm a working 9 to 5 family guy. 3 years ago, I didn't have. I had no savings. I had no capital, and crypto has changed that for me. For now, touch wood. More to come. But yeah, you can make good returns on crypto. The problem is with crypto is it's not like normal investing. You're not always investing in utility. You've got to look at the hype. You've got to look at the narrative, because that's where the money is, unfortunately. And until you make that realization as well, crypto's hard. Very hard. Because proper utility doesn't make money. It's like the whole of the logistics industry is perfect for blockchain, but it's not cool, it's not trendy, it's not marketable, and therefore things like Morpheus Network, VeChain, they don't do very well because no one gives a shit. And that's the hard, honest truth about it. Right then, folks, I am going to wind it up there. You did amazingly well. You actually got me to nearly 26,000 likes in those few minutes. I really appreciate that support. As I said, please do follow me here. Join the Discord, Twitter, YouTube, Kick, whatever you want. I've been streaming the whole time to just one person over on Kick and YouTube. But that's just all about growing airtime and getting some exposure. We'll get that algorithm going. I've only been doing it a week, so we'll see. It does take a long time, but I'll still be here on TikTok and in Discord. Like I said, you don't have to go on the private Discord. That's entirely up to you. But if you do, there's cheap options and there's expensive options. But yeah, hope to see you in there. Thank you very much for all the questions. Speak to you all again soon.